Well, hello there. It's that time again. Yes, it is. It is time for our weekly tarot and astrology reading here on this beautiful Sunday morning of July the 25th of 2021. As usual, I am going to look at some Tarot de Marseille trump cards that I pulled at random to tell us about our upcoming week. And then we're going to take a look at some astrology. And as always, these readings tend to be interesting, so please stay tuned. Okay, in a moment, 3 Tarot de Marseille trump cards are going to come onto the screen and cover my face. The cards I drew from the CBD Tarot for this week's reading are Death, Temperance, and the World. Now the Death card is lumbering along. He is working with his scythe, his chopping instrument. He is looking very intently at the Lady of Temperance. Now it's interesting to note that the backbone of the Death card, that diagonal line, also happens to match the handle of the scythe as well as the blade itself. Then we have a diagonal line in the card Temperance. The angel of Temperance is mixing 2 cups, creating this diagonal line that mirrors the diagonal lines of the Death figure. So we could possibly say that the application of technique of chopping, slicing, dicing, getting rid of things leads to mixture or compromise, which is what the Angel of Temperance is doing. She's blending things. She's not afraid of the Death card. She's looking at him pretty intently, but she seems to be compassionate towards his dilemma. She seems to want to help. And then we go ahead and take a look at the World card, and we see that our Angel of Temperance has been stripped naked. She has been reduced in size. She's much smaller now. And her wings, the wings of freedom, empowerment, now they've turned to this, they're blue wings. Now they've turned to this blue wreath that surrounds this small figure holding a wand. So we could say that as there's compromise and there's blending and working with reduction of things or situations, there becomes, in a sense, a change of place, a sense of maybe humility, okay? A sense of being protected. I mean, she's definitely safe. She's in the middle of this wreath, and she has these 4 cherubic animals around her. Maybe those could be people that come to her aid. There's a lot of support here. There's a lot of support, and there's a lot of comfort. I got a sense of that in looking at these cards. Now, I don't generally go so much with prefixed meanings. I mean, you can read that way, but I had a teacher that taught me just to look at the visual aspects of the cards and describe what is happening and get a sense for how I feel about it. But if we did look at meanings, okay, we could look at the Death card as basically getting rid of things, endings, okay, destruction. Temperance is the idea of compromise, idea of balance. And then we have the World card, which could be perfection or victory. Now, in a way that I was taught to read, we can look at the gazes of these cards along with their meanings and get a better sense of what's going on. We could say that the card to the left of Temperance, in this case the Death card, is what needs to be increased to make stronger or better the mixture that the Temperance Angel is working on. So maybe there's a need for more destruction in a way, more disruption of what's going on in our lives that is stagnant, that we don't need to have. And then what we would need to decrease to make the proper mixture is what's represented by the World card to the right of the Temperance. And in this case, maybe we need less perfection, less contentment, and say, okay, it's okay to kind of stir up the card. It's okay to upset the card. It's okay to stir things up. It's not a time to be stagnant. It's a time to go ahead and be real and to continue to move forward. But know that there is contentment and there is comfort in getting rid of things that are not needed. And as we're going to see, that's reinforced in our astrology. Okay, so in terms of our astrology, we just had the full moon a couple of days ago. And so at this point, we're in the waning phase of the moon. This is a good time for getting rid of things. You know, situations, even maybe people, if you have to. Objects, things, possessions that don't work for you. This is a time to get rid of them. Get rid of poverty. Get rid of illness. Get rid of sense of lack, sense of limitation. Anything that's holding you back. This is a time to get rid of it. Now, I like to try to correlate the planets and the moon aspects with days of the weeks that the planets rule. That doesn't work well this week. There's a lot of conflicts. There's times the moon is squaring Saturn or squaring planets that we would want to work with. So I really don't want to go there. But just know that from the next 2 weeks onwards, this is a good time for banishing. Time to get rid of things, time to release and let go. And if we bear that in mind, we can make very productive use of this time coming up. Okay, well listen, I thank you so much for watching my reading, watching this blog. I really do appreciate your support. Some of you have been watching for many years. So I've been doing this since 2008. And I really appreciate it. I love you. Thank you so much. Until I see you next week, many, many blessings.